What is up, Dream Team? So I just got out of work. My hands aren't too dirty like they usually are, but anyway, just got out of work. Quite honestly, I don't feel like doing them, but I'm gonna do them anyways. So let's get to it. Dream Team, baby. Okay, first take off my shirt and my watch. All right, let's get it.
When I was a wee lad, a young man, I lived on $1,500 a month, and believe it or not, during that period of time, while splitting the room, sleeping on the floor with another dude, I was taking home about $15,000, $20,000 a month. And the reason that I lived like that is because A, I'm incredibly risk averse, but B, because I wanted to have money to go on the offensive later. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alex Mosey, own acquisition.com. Portfolio companies. There's over $200 million a year to make these videos because I want you to make shitloads of money and make a big company so that someday we can partner together and take it to $100 million and beyond. For me, making 20 grand a month was never an amount of money that I wanted to brag about or feel like I had made it. I wanted to shoot really, really big. This was only stuff that was going to be stepping stones for me to achieve what I wanted to later. What I want to do in this video is I'm going to break down how I was able to live for so cheap. This is for all the single guys, all the single ladies. Now, if you can live with your parents, even better for me. Somebody would have died. It was for the best that I didn't have to live at home. This is what I actually did in order to live for $1,500 a month or less, and I did that eating out every day. There's three big cost centers. You got transportation, you got living, and you got food. So, food-wise, some of you guys have seen Mosey Meals, Meal Hacks, the things that I do at these chain restaurants, and I did it that way because I don't like cooking and I wanted to have more time to make money. It made more financial sense for me to not take 8 hours on a Sunday to go grocery shopping and prep all my food versus me getting Chipotle twice a day, which is what I did. At the time, then $15 a day, $20 a day, 30 days in a row, $600 a month. You can also go to Panda Express, which has a phenomenal 110 gram of protein packed with extra chicken, so you can have 200 grams of protein every day. Recommend it. Third,
experience raised my credit score by 12 points.
So that's 30, baby. Those dirty 30s. Okay.
Filet is one of my favorites. They are on the pricier side. Just go with 2 packs of chicken nuggets and getting close to $12, which is a shitload of meat, or 2 sandwiches. Either way, you'll end up in that $10 to $12 range, and you'll be at that $600, $700 a month range. And if you're like, did he really do that? I sure did. That's all I did. I picked between Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, and Chipotle. That's what I lived on, so much to the point that Layla didn't know that we were going on dates. But for me, these were the fine establishments that I was frequenting on a regular basis. They knew my name, and they knew that I knew how to work the menu. So, first step was Mosey Meals. And that, for me, time to money-wise, was worth it. When I would go to the grocery store and I would get all the fixings and all that stuff, I spent $150 in a week. And I ended up spending almost $600 a month as a single guy when I went grocery shopping and did all the prep and all the clean versus me running out next door, grabbing the food, eating it, heading back. It was a nice mental break for me. I ate cheap, and as crazy as this may seem, it is easier to figure out how to get all of your calories in eating out stuff ahead of time. The absolute cheapest route, which I'll tell you right now, loaves of bread, peanut butter. Cheapest thing in the world. And if you really want to make sure that you're covering your bases, get a multivitamin. You can live on it. If you want to add a third staple in there, you can add lactate milk if you're dairy sensitive. You'll get your protein, you get your carbs, you get your fat in. If you want to be extreme on it, you can be extreme. For me, I didn't want to live on peanut butter sandwiches. I did eat them when I was trying to bulk up, but I did those in addition to my normal calorie intake. And to that degree, you might want to do one of those Mosey Meals and then do peanut butter and milk is the other one, which is a nice cheap in between. The reason this is so important for everybody who's watching this, you got to know how to live cheap so you can save up to build the business you want so that you can invest in the skills and the experiences that are going to make you money. Number 2 is transportation. This is where Mosey Mobiles came in. There's lots of M's when it comes to mobiles, meals, and mansions. From the mobile standpoint, the most efficient way
that's 50, baby.
is to
Come on,
purchase
let's
it
go.
in cash, a used vehicle.
So my phone died again. What's new? So I left off at 70 push-ups. So I just gotta do 30 more. Let's go.
Because I had people there that I wanted to learn from. I didn't know anyone else besides this one couple. If you just say, hey, do you know anybody else who lives in this area? And this is where, now the world's even more connected than it was a decade ago. You see a lot in SoCal, you see a lot in Miami, you see a lot in New York, a lot of Chicago. And a big thing here, if you see Cleveland rich, it's not the same as SoCal rich. Not the same as New York. What happens is your standard of excellence raises. In some ways, you feel worse about yourself but to the same degree, it shows you what's possible. My recommendation is to use that as inspiration. It's possible. They are made of the same flesh and bone as I am, therefore I can. And when you get around people like that, they start talking in different time increments and different money increments. If you're hanging out with, they're talking in terms of weeks, talking in terms of paychecks, talking in terms of $100, $1,000 investments. You gotta be talking to people who are talking about $100,000 investments. We're talking about years, we're talking about decades. You can judge how wealthy people will be by how they talk about how they allocate resources, time and money.
That's 15.
When you live with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, your day can be full of reminders of your condition. You weren't made.
Just in case you guys have any
Increments that they measure those. I've moved a lot faster in life through handshakes instead of hacks. It's who introduced me and opened way more doors than any what ever did. Getting around the who, a lot of times it's hard to measure, but when I look at all the big deals that I've done in my life, it's all been 1 or 2 degrees connected from people that I met. One recommendation that I have for you, don't turn down the first invite. Connect with somebody at a thing, it's like, hey, let's grab dinner. If you make that first one happen, the likelihood that you end up staying friends and connecting is significantly higher. If you turn down the first invite, it shows that you're not as interested. They also turn down your counter invite, and it becomes this whole thing. And I'm just saying, like, one big move is just make it work on the first invite. When you go to that meeting, do some prep work. Do 30 minutes of research on the person you're going to meet with and try to bring something valuable to the table. Now, it might be your skill and you just apply it to them. And this is the thing. This is a fucking hack, a life. No one wants a free patio. Like, hey, you got a buddy who builds patios. You don't have a patio. You have a couple people bid for it. Your buddy's like, hey, I'll build it for you, right? He says he'll do it for free. And you say, sure, cool, I'll save some money. The other guy said they can do it in 4 weeks. He starts taking 4 weeks.
That's 100 push-ups. I do it for you, I do it for me, I do it for we, the people, dream team. Let's go.